Well, today's the day. We're finally revealing where we're going on our next big adventure.
Where are we going?
And where we've been, or why we've been training for the past.
Yeah, why have we been doing all this training?
He's the trip princess, like passenger princess. He doesn't even know where we're going or what we're doing. I just said we need to train. So he's
kind of true.
So he's
it's
kind of
true, but I'm
too.
also the bankroll.
Drum roll.
Where are we going?
To Europe.
So we're headed to Europe. We're going to do the TMB. It's a hike around Mont Blanc.
Yeah, so
Mont Blanc is a mountain.
TMB stands for Tour du Mont Blanc.
Right, so this mountain, Mont Blanc, touches France, Italy, and Switzerland, and this hike goes around the whole thing. It's 105 miles. How many kilometers is that?
170 kilometers.
So most people do it in like 11 days.
Yeah, it's an 11-stage hike. So most people will do it in the 11 stages. So it takes 11 days, and some people even add in a rest day midway.
So since most people do it in 11, we figured we should do it in 9, which is really smart.
Well, realistically, 11 days is a long time.
Honestly, yeah, it's mostly just because we can't take that much time off of work. We gotta kind of hustle because...
And we need time before and after to get home and to get settled and whatnot.
Plus, that dog's gotta be in daycare. That's a long time for that.
Yeah, so we're doing it in 9 days. It's totally doable. We have our route planned out. We are not camping. We're actually staying. So on this trek, you can do camping along the way, like backpacking.
But then you got to carry extra weight. So imagine like when we hiked the Grand Canyon, we backpacked and then tented that. And I had 46 pounds on my back. She had 36 pounds on her back. So that for 105 miles, no thanks.
No.
And I'm too bougie for camping anymore. So we're gonna go to hotels, and we're hoteling it.
They're not hotels. They're mountain huts. They're like not like high-end luxury. Some of them might be.
Some are not gonna be nice. Some are not gonna be nice.
Right.
But they're all booked. So we got to make it to the next one every day. If the weather's bad, doesn't matter. We're going to the next spot. So we got to do like average of like 10, 11, 12 miles a day hiking. The elevation is pretty big every day, like 4,000 feet,
get over
something
4,000
like
feet of elevation gained and lost. So
yeah, so we've watched a bunch of videos on it. It looks pretty tough, but a lot of people do it, and there's people doing it in way worse shape than we are, so we should have no excuse not to be able to finish it.
Yeah, we have been wanting to do this for a couple years. We actually bailed on the idea of it this year, and then I don't know what happened, but we were just like,
I think we thought hotels were booked up.
Yeah, because these mountain huts, you have to book like as soon as they open up. It's like almost a year in advance. So you do have to check the site, and I'll link some of the stuff in the description. So if you want to take a peek at the details of it, but it's kind of a challenge just to book everything. So I had to buy
I've been working really hard booking all this. It's been tough.
I
haven't done anything.
I bought some Tour du Mont Blanc books and read up on those. And
I did that too. I read some.
Yeah, I showed them to Mike and asked him like if this made sense for the route. He's a little bit more
I can do
direction.
Like the geographic.
Yeah, he's like better with that stuff than I am. So like I think I've got like the route plans and everything, and then I show it to him and make sure it seems like it makes sense. So there is a couple mountain huts that we weren't able to get, so we do have to extend certain days to get to a different spot. It's going to be an interesting journey. It's probably not going to be so fun sometimes, but yeah,
it's like type 2 fun. We did all these trips last year. We went to all these places, and we also hiked the Grand Canyon for 3 days. And that was the one trip that like stuck out in our heads, both of us.
Yeah.
So that tough fun is probably our cup of tea.
Yeah. We did the Grand Canyon, we did it you can do it in a day. I just don't recommend that for it to be enjoyable. But we did it in, I guess, like 2.5, 3 days. So we hiked to the bottom of the Grand Canyon in one, and then we split up the hike out. So we stayed at the bottom, hiked halfway.
With the river. you know, like
Yeah.
6 miles, something like that, and then hiked out the next day the whatever miles that was.
And it was definitely challenging because it's an elevation gain and
It was
loss there
hot.
too.
We had a lot of weight.
Yeah, the weight, and it was like 90 something in the canyon itself. It was like over 100, but we got out and we were sad. We were like, this was so fun. This was like the best trip we've ever done. It felt the most rewarding. We were like off the grid. Like, we're using our phones.
There was definitely days though that we were like, who booked this? Whose idea was this? This sucks. But it is actually, as soon as you get out like 10 minutes later, you're like, it's over.
Yeah.
So we're
really
doubling
cool.
down. We're gonna do it. We're tripling down. We're doing
more than tripling down. We said the Grand Canyon was awesome. Why don't we go on a 106-mile hike around Europe?
Yeah. So
whose idea was that?
it's Switzerland, Italy, and France.
Okay,
So
but the plus side of this, the reason why I convinced him on this, is it's a way different style backpacking or through hiking trip than, like, say the Grand Canyon, for instance. So this trip, you go into all these like little tiny mountain towns along the trail, and you can get like fresh pizza, pasta in Italy, and like cured meats and cheeses in France
Coffee.
and Switzerland, like fresh coffee, pastries.
Yeah, so it's pretty. It sounds tough, but it's also kind of bougie.
Enjoyable.
It's like, yeah, like you get up in the morning, you hike, you know, 4 miles.
In the
like,
morning. Yeah.
Hike 4 miles in the morning. At lunchtime, you get to like a little coffee shop on the side of the mountain. They call them something else over there. What do they call them?
Oh, well, the huts themselves are called either refuges or refugios, depending on what country you're in.
So they got those there, and they got all kinds of good snacks on them. Everybody's ranting and raving about how good everything is.
Like homemade, like peach pies.
Plus, if you're hiking for days, anything tastes good. You know, you could probably put dog food on a plate and it'd be great.
So it's gonna be really good. But that was the contributing factor of what Mike was sold on this trip for. It was like game changer. He's like, "Yep, that looks great. Let's do it."
Well, there's a lot of good snacks. I like
It didn't
snacks.
take much convincing. I told him about it and he's like, I don't know. Then I'm like, let's watch a couple YouTubes on it. Saw a couple refugios where people stopped to have like pasta and pizza and great salads and sandwiches, and he said, yeah, let's do it, book it. So that's
Pretty much. So that's our plan, and we're doing some more training until we go, and then we'll hit the road, or hit the
Mountain.
hit
And
the
we're trading
airport.
Yeah, we're trading van life for mountain life for a little bit, so it should be different and exciting.
Yeah.
So for training, we've been doing hiking in like elevation gain areas like New Hampshire, doing like 4,000 footers. We also have been running a lot.
We just biking a lot.
We
just
bike a
bike
lot.
down the Woods Hole right now, like 7 or 8 miles down here.
Yeah, so we'll
Obviously
do 14
got coffee
now.
and pie, and now we're gonna bike back after this. But
Yeah, so just doing as much training as possible, even if we can't get a lot of incline. We're just still trying to get a lot of cardio in, get our legs used to just moving constantly. So that's what we've been doing. If you didn't see our last week's video, we went to New Hampshire and did a 4,000 footer and just another
tough one.
Yeah, that was a tough 4,000 footer because we were in kind of like a rainstorm, but both days it was rainy. We did another hike on Sunday, and that wasn't a 4,000 footer, but it was a good incline hike, so that helped as well. So I'll put that info in the description as well, but we've just been training and getting ready for this. So we have been hitting the REI and getting all our
We got so much
gear
good
ready.
stuff there.
Yeah,
That REI is like Snap-on. It's like top dollar, but everything's great.
it's good stuff for hiking. I actually just got a new pack for the trip, so I'm excited for that. We're pretty excited. We're hoping that we don't have any injuries, or we get to make it out in the 9 days and get to enjoy ourselves relaxing for the few days after the trek.
Yeah, we still have like I don't know, a month at least before we leave, and just like, oh, don't get hurt, don't roll an ankle, don't break a kneecap. I don't know.
Anything can happen. Like, you could get injured, and all of the training, all of the booking, everything goes to waste at that point. So
Yeah, I got a mini bike race coming up in like a couple of weeks, so I gotta win.
So let's hope nothing bad happens there. I'll probably film that too, so that's gonna be, can I say show.
It's definitely gonna be one of those.
So that'll be funny too to share. But yeah, we wanted to finally give you guys some information on what we were doing next, since we've been kind of hinting at it for the past few videos and letting you see us train and whatnot. But it's been fun. We feel like we're in decent shape.
I think we're ready.
My neighbor tells us we're fine.
She's like 70. She's like, yeah, you guys are great. Yeah.
She's active too, so I don't know. Maybe she makes me feel better about it. But
all right, that's our plan. Stay tuned and keep watching.
Yeah, please subscribe. We're gonna do probably a full series on our Tour de Mont Blanc. So I'm sure a lot of you that are watching maybe have never heard of it or would never think to do it, but it might be something interesting that you might end up wanting to do one day. You actually don't have to do the whole thing. You can go to Europe and do parts of it. So that's an option as well. If you're like, oh, that looks cool, but I don't want to do 9, 10, 11, 12 days. But yeah, that is kind of where we're at right now and why we've been doing what we've been doing.
So van life to mountain life. Catch you on the flip side.
It's gonna be fun.
Adios.